Many people will struggle with financial literacy, or the ability to understand and use financial information effectively. See, financial education is not taught in schools. It is often assumed that people will learn it by themselves. However, this is a huge and dangerous mistake, because without financial literacy, you are also more vulnerable to scams and predatory practices. Even worse, you are more likely to fall into debt or even bankruptcy. This video will reveal the dark side of financial literacy and why it's a huge problem in America. Towards the end of this video, we'll discuss how the federal government can roll out a financial education program that actually works in schools, so stick around for that. You might want to support this channel by hitting the subscribe button. And let's dive in. In 2021, millions of Americans hopped on the hype train of viral meme stocks such as GameStop, AMC, and Bitcoin. They were tempted by the promise of easy money and the feeling of rebellion against the so-called system. The media painted the saga as a heroic struggle of David versus Goliath, of Wall Street versus Main Street, which further influenced a lot of people to fall into the trap. But the truth was far from that. The meme stock craze was not a revolution, but a symptom of a deeper problem, a lack of financial literacy. A problem that cost many people millions of dollars. The 2021 craze proved one thing: if we don't teach people financial literacy, they won't stop investing. They'll do it themselves, and they'll do it badly. They'll all end up putting money into more speculative, get-rich-quick schemes. But here's what's truly disturbing. Instead of finding the right sources of financial information, many people will use logic from Reddit. Instead of doing technical analysis, they'll follow tweets from financial influencers. They'll invest in crypto because of a flashy FTX Super Bowl commercial, and they'll pay the price of financial illiteracy. The truth is that most Americans don't understand money, and that's a huge problem. See, nearly half of Americans are a $400 parking ticket away from the poverty line. That's a scary statistic, but it's even scarier when you realize that the average self-reported cost of financial literacy was $1,819 in 2022, according to a survey by the National Financial Educators Council. That means that Americans are trapped in poverty by their own financial mistakes. Mistakes that could have been avoided if they had learned the basics of money management, budgeting, saving, and investing. But here's what's truly troubling. 32% of teens still don't know the difference between a credit card and a debit card. 11% of Americans with bank accounts paid overdraft fees in 2021. Without national standards and increased funding for formalized financial education, we are teaching financial literacy through financial ruin. We are harming families' abilities to build generational wealth, and we are risking an economic crisis. Studies have shown that more than 1/3 of U.S. wealth inequality could be explained by differences in financial knowledge. That means that if we want to close the gap between the rich and the poor, we need to educate people about money. We need to empower them to make smart financial decisions and to hold public institutions accountable. And if you think these facts are disturbing, wait until you hear the next part. In 2021, millions of teens wanted to learn more about personal finance, but they didn't have access to the resources, the guidance, or the support they needed. They were left to figure it out on their own, or worse, to fall prey to the pitfalls of the financial world. But why is lack of financial education a big deal? You see, studies have shown that people with higher financial literacy scores are more likely to invest in stocks and accumulate more wealth. They're also less likely to have credit card debt and pay off their balance each month, as well as refinance their mortgages at the right times. They have been seen to avoid borrowing against their 401k plans and use high-cost borrowing methods. In other words, they are more likely to be financially successful. But despite the evidence that financial education can produce amazing results, nearly half of students nationwide still lack access to a formal financial education. As of 2021, 75% of teens reported learning about personal finance from their parents. 52% of teens learned from school, and 42% from social media. But that's barely helpful. See, social media is not a reliable source of financial information. Parents should not have to fill the gap left by taxpayer-funded schools. If money makes the world go around, shouldn't schools teach our kids about it? Instead, financial literacy has become a massive generational game of telephone. If a child doesn't learn about budgeting, saving, credit, and investing from their parents, they probably never will. Financial literacy has become a double-edged sword for generational wealth. It benefits those with it and hurts those without it. So let me ask you this. Do you think high school students should learn how to manage money and grow wealth? If you answered yes, then you might be surprised to learn that only 23 U.S. states require high school students to take a personal finance course to graduate as of 2022. And only 25 states require students to enroll in an economics course to graduate. But even many of these courses are not very effective in teaching financial literacy. That's a shame, because financial literacy is one of the most important skills that students need to succeed in life. Now here's the thing. The federal government needs to make financial education cross-disciplinary. It has to provide teachers with the necessary training and resources to teach financial literacy effectively. We need to solve the chicken-egg dilemma. How do we teach financial literacy when we never taught our teachers? Anyone who has spent time in a classroom can tell you that a good curriculum is only as good as the teacher teaching it. We would be naive to think that financial illiteracy is a new problem or only affects younger generations. After teaching in hundreds of high schools across the country, I can tell you that the questions we get from teachers are the same as students, because our teachers themselves never received a formalized financial education. So what can we do about this dire situation? We need to face the reality of a lack of financial illiteracy and become comfortable talking about money. A solution requires us to set aside ego, acknowledge what works and what doesn't, and ensure that we account for all education groups, from micro schools to homeschoolers, to charter schools and public school districts. The imperative for a national financial education strategy is indisputable. An economically engaged citizenry forms the bedrock of a thriving nation, and equipping individuals with financial literacy skills is no longer a luxury, but a critical investment in our collective future. But that's not all. While commendable state-level initiatives exist, the true catalyst for change lies at the federal level. We need proactive policies that prioritize wealth creation through financial education, not just financial aid. Empowering teachers through robust training programs to confidently tackle complex financial concepts like pensions is crucial. Similarly, fast-tracking approval for innovative digital learning tools holds immense potential in democratizing access to financial knowledge, regardless of geographic location. Here's the thing. Encouraging healthy financial habits early is paramount. We can incentivize parents to invest in their children's financial future through targeted programs and incentives. Federal funding should strategically bolster proven, impactful programs, amplifying their reach and effectiveness. And tying this funding to the adoption of mandatory personal finance curricula in high schools is a common-sense, bipartisan solution. See, even modest investments can yield exponential returns. Consider Rapunzel's success. With $300,000 in scholarships, they've impacted 75,000 students in 5 years. Imagine the transformative power of $1 million annual scholarship fund accessible to every school nationwide. That's the kind of transformative scale we can achieve with federal commitment. Yes, navigating the federal bureaucracy presents challenges, but the potential rewards are too significant to ignore. Financially empowered citizens make for a more stable, vibrant nation. Weaving financial literacy into the fabric of education is not just an educational imperative, it's a national security concern. In a world where understanding financial markets is increasingly essential for informed citizens, equipping students with this critical lens is crucial. The time for action is now. Let us collectively advocate for a comprehensive federal strategy that prioritizes financial education. By ensuring all Americans have access to the knowledge and tools they need to make informed financial decisions, we pave the way for a brighter, more prosperous future for all. Let us know what you think in the comments section. If you're still with me, thank you for watching. And if you found this video beneficial, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload. I'll see you in the next one.